Welcome back. This is the Sexy Cigar Lounge, and I am your host at JW King, aka JJ, and I do have the crew in the building. What up, Brent?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, so to my understanding, we got a special guest today. I'm pretty excited about that. We've been having a wild one in the clubhouse space all week, so I guess this makes for a good conversation to end the week off. But man, I'm ready to get to it. Follow Six Cigar Lounge on all social media platforms. I'm saying underscore brand.
Hey, man, if you guys out in Facebook land haven't already done so, please share this. Please share this. Please share this. Drew, what up?
What up? What up, man? Y'all know what it is, man. We back at it again. It's the Sexy Cigar Lounge on YouTube Live. Y'all can follow us on all social media platforms at the Sexy Cigar Lounge. This is a really good show, man. I think the people are really going to enjoy it. Um, we got a special guest, so it's going to get interesting. So y'all know what it is. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for all notifications for future shows. Back to you, JJ.
Show, man. Hey, man. So, my friend here, man, I've been knowing her for how long? I've been knowing you, Sean?
Man, it's been about 15 or 16 years.
Many years, man. Um, and, and me and her never really have lost contact with each other. It's sort of like when you grow and you have families and everything, and we just always somehow kept in contact with each other.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, she's one of those type of people where I could call her for anything. You know, anything. It don't matter. And I asked her to come on the show to talk about this topic because um, a few years back, you know what I'm saying, I I was going through something and I started reading some of her Facebook post. And she is a very sharp minded individual. And
Thank you.
yeah, so I started reading some of her Facebook post, and for some for some reason, me and her, you know what I'm saying, like whatever I was thinking about at the time and going through at the time, she was posting about it. So I called her, and we just got to talking, man. Got to talking, and she started sending me some material, and man, what was it, like 3 or 4 years ago?
Um,
Maybe longer.
probably somewhere around 2018,
Yeah,
19.
yeah, and man, she called out this word narcissism to me, and I really never, I don't
what
heard.
was she referring to you, JJ, or she was just
Nah, bro,
talk?
I was going through something.
I'm
I was
just
going through
messing.
something, and she was telling me about certain behaviors that people have, and she called it, narcissism. So I done heard this word like several times, but never really paid attention to it because it really didn't apply to anything in my life. Because when you meet people and you go through things, man, you don't really think about, what I'm saying, certain type of behaviors people have. You just call their ass crazy, you know what I'm saying, and you keep it
Yep.
moving, whatever. But she started breaking down some stuff to me, and I was like, man, like this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, man, me and her just been vibing about it for the past few years. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to do a show on this. Uh, Unfortunately, she's not showing herself on camera today, but she will be back again. But uh, I wanted to welcome my friend Shonda to the stage. What up, Shonda?
Hey guys, thanks for the warm welcome. Great introduction. So yes, like he said, this is a topic that we have been discussing for a long time now. And once somebody kind of shed light on that particular topic, you kind of start to get into it and study it for yourself. And the reason this topic is important to me is because this type of behavior is very, very prevalent. I know a lot of people say, well, if you're not a psychiatrist, you can't diagnose a person with narcissism, which is true, but as being a narcissist, which is true. However, we're talking about the behavior of narcissism and not the narcissistic personality disorder. And I think the more information people get about this type of behavior, the more you can avoid these type of people, because there's a lot of them out here. And the basis of a lot of times the basis of narcissism, it comes from our childhood. Like, it stems from childhood issues, like not being nurtured properly as a child, or different things like that. And people just kind of and people grow up and they have these issues, and they run into other good people and they wreak havoc on our lives, because this isn't how we were raised. We were raised off love, and these people were raised off survival.
Hold on. We we're gonna we're gonna take a pause right there, and I want to introduce my big homie Rock to the bill
Okay.
to the stage. What up, Rock?
Hey, what's up, fellas, man? What's going on, man? It's always good to be here, and it's very interesting what Shonda has introduced to the
Yeah.
conversation, and I'm looking forward to a learning more, um, because this term it's become a popular aspect of our lexicon now. Like, everybody, in my opinion, they see someone that they don't like, or they don't like the other person's behavior, or they don't agree with a person's decision, they'll view them as a narcissist, or that's narcissistic behavior.
Absolutely
And
not.
no, 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 no. I'm saying that that's how people are using the word now.
Yep, they are.
You know what I
They
mean?
are. Hmm.
And so I'm really interested to, because it seemed like, for me, before I got on Clubhouse, I don't think I had ever really heard of the word. But obviously, your introduction to the word, JJ, was prior to Clubhouse, and so
Oh yeah,
again,
there was a
I'm really interested to learn more, because I thought it was one of those Clubhouse words like triggering,
yeah,
narcissism,
yeah. See,
high value
see.
man, like all those things that I don't think existed prior to you know my experience with
Right,
Clubhouse.
and that's the reason why I want to get this introduction the way I did, because I don't want people to think that this word just came about from from me in the past couple of years. Like, and I'm gonna go back to what Shonda said about survival, right? And I see a bunch of people jumping on. Hey, I need y'all to share this, share this. We got a bunch of people watching right now. But hey, I wanted to say the survival situation. And Rock, I know exactly what you saying. You know what I'm saying? When a person, you know what I'm saying, feels a certain way about a person, they'll call them narcissistic. But it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? If two people just don't get along, that's what it is. You see what I'm saying? But she finna break it down to you, because I done asked her certain questions 20 different ways, and she always had an answer. And the answers really made sense. And that's the reason why I want her on here, because we're not just talking from a perspective of feelings. This woman really has studied this stuff for years.
Can
So
can can I ask her a question based on what she already done said?
for sure.
You said some people are raised off love and some people are raised off survival. What you mean by
Yes.
survival? I mean, you talking about a kid who's just hungry for a sandwich? What type of survival you mean when you say that?
What I mean when I say survival, I mean some people, some parents do the absolute bare minimum. You have to love and nurture your kids. You can't just buy them things and feed them and let them, and just think that they're going to know how to love and how to be nurturers. That's not going to happen. So a lot of times, a lot of parents kind of put their kids on the back burner, and a lot of times it's not even something that they do consciously or something that they're doing maliciously. There's certain circumstances that would make them have to put that child, not be able to nurture and love that child properly.
So
And
so
so
e- even a child who's being raised in a environment that is rich. I'm talking about they have resources. They could still be being raised off survival, right?
absolutely, absolutely. Like you're supposed to be able to provide for your kids. That's a fact, right? But that's only one aspect of the whole situation. Like you have to be able to nurture your kids mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially. Financially is only one aspect. If you're not able to nurture your kids all the way around, they're going to lack. And a lot of times, um, growing up, when they lack that nurturing that they needed, they just don't know how to have empathy and love for others, basically.
And, and let me just jump in on that. Empathy and love for others. Can you break that down? Like can you break that down whenever those kids those kids become adults? What does that look like when it comes to being a narcissist?
What it looks like is I'm gonna give an example in a romantic relationship. Let's say you get into a relationship with someone that was not nurtured and loved properly. When they get into a relationship with you and growing up, they don't know how to love you the way you need to be loved or the way you expect them to love you. And so what they'll do is it's kind of sick, but they get they get energy from hurting others. Like they get a supply from causing other people harm. So when you're trying to love them and you're being loving towards them and you love them, their main agenda is to hurt you or to cause you harm. And it's incomprehensible because a normal person does not maneuver in that way. So
Hmm.
that's what it looks like. It looks like somebody that you're trying to love, but they hate you for loving them. And you wonder, like, why would you hate me? And all I'm trying to do is love you. They hate you because you have the ability to love something that they lack.
Hmm.
So they have a hate for you because you have that ability. So if you have never loved someone that it seemed like they hated you the more you love them, it's kind of hard to understand what I'm saying. But if you've been there, you've been there.
Interesting. Uh, I think that you know I don't know like when you try to balance out love and attention and affection, you know what I'm saying? Somebody said facts. Charles Marx said facts. Personality disorder to a psychopath and sociopath. Uh, y'all see how deep this could be, and I know Rock got a bunch of questions. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, does that make sense, Rock?
It absolutely makes no sense at all to me.
Okay.
Um, but I'm not saying that her rationale is flawed or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that for me, the way I process things is the more that a person cares about you, the more that you pour into a person, the more that person is able to let you in, the more understanding and caring they get, and the relationship becomes even more valuable to not only, to both people.
But what if it don't?
But what you're saying is somehow this person can make the love that you're pouring into them is like salt in a wound in some kind of way. And I don't quite understand how a person could pour in love and kindness and it be salt to some type of childhood trauma. But again, I'm here listening and trying to get a understanding as to what that means and how a person rationalizes that, because I'm a logical thinker. So Shonda, how does a person rationalize love being harmful or 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 agitating them in some way? How can a person process it that way?
Well, Rock, I will say this. You have fortunately been blessed enough to not have ever encountered these type of people. I was explaining when I was talking about it, I said the phenomenon is incomprehensible to the normal mind, that I could pour love into you and you could hate me for pouring love into you. But what you have to understand is this: the fact that I have the ability and the wherewithal to love, this is something that everybody don't have the ability to do. Everybody don't have the ability to have empathy. This and when people don't have the ability to do these things, they envy it. They envy you for this. And so I know it's hard to comprehend what I'm saying. And it sounds foolish that if I'm pouring love into somebody, then it should make them better or it should create a good situation. But that's not always the case. And we don't want people to feel as if something is wrong with them for pouring love into people who are not able to receive it. Like,
Let, let me just ask you this, Shonda. I'm not clear on how it may manifest itself, but I'm gonna give you an example of a circumstance or situation that I've heard people complain about. Right? They're in this amazing relationship. Two people are connected or whatever, and the more closer they get to the person then begins to sabotage or create situations to prevent or affect the bond that they're building or the bond that they have established. Is that narcissistic behavior, or that's dysfunction, or because I'm trying to understand, because to me, I never understood that. But when you say that, I just wonder, is that one, because I've heard people complain about, oh, this was going so well, we were getting to know each other, he was opening up to me or she was opening up to me, and then all of a sudden, the self-sabotage or the sabotage in the relationship began, and for no apparent reason. And so I'm just wondering if that's an aspect of a narcissistic, relationship or behavior.
um, see, the thing about it is, it's really nothing normal about having a good relationship with someone and you just intentionally sabotage that relationship. That's not normal behavior. No matter how we
I
try to
agree.
spin it, that's not normal. And a well-rounded, wholesome person does not do that. But I will say this: people who have people who have who have narcissism, they sabotage every relationship they ever had and ever will have. There is no such thing as a good relationship with a person with narcissistic behavior. It's not there's no such thing, because what happens is, since they don't know how to love, they come into the relationship mirroring you, right? They wear this mask mirroring you. They pay attention to you. They they love based on how they see you loving them. But that mask can only last for so long. And after a while, the mask starts to slip. And when that mask starts to slip, that's when you start to see them for who they truly are. And it's really unfortunate because there's a cycle when it comes to dealing with narcissism. They will love bomb you. In the love bombing stage, they shower you with attention, with love, with gifts, with
Clubhouse word.
compliments. They put you on a and it may be a clubhouse word, but it's a good thing because people need to learn and understand these type of behaviors. Okay, they love bomb you, they put you on a pedestal, they make you feel like you're the greatest person on earth. This is for a reason because they're preparing to kick that pedestal from beneath you. And when you fall from that pedestal, it hurts. It hurts. When you're down and when you're injured, that's when they devalue you.
Mm-hmm. They
Oh,
break
man.
you all the way down. They'll break
mean-
you all the way down, bro.
I mean, Rock, this let's take Clubhouse out of this.
Yeah, cause love bomb ain't a
Like-
clubhouse word, bro.
Like,
It's not.
I'm trying to separate the Clubhouse thing from the reality, bro.
Yeah.
This is reality right here, bro. This ain't Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people watching.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to
What I mean by clubhouse term, I'm just saying I'd never heard it before. And love again. I'm an older guy, so a lot of these terms that y'all are familiar with, I didn't grow up with. Like love bomb wasn't a word or a term that I grew up with, and so you know, much like and again, when you talk about love bomb, it's almost like nothing. And let me just explain this, right? Nothing about love is negative to me, right? And that's just how I process things. And so I apologize, right? But
Fake love is always negative though. If it's
Yeah.
not real, if it's
but
not
fake
authentic.
love ain't love though.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what love bomb is. Love bomb is a form of it's a over loving. When you see a guy meet a girl and he does all these grand phenomenal things for her when he first meets her, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? The love bomb, before he even really knows her, he's doing all of these things for her, right? And he's love bombing her, like he's making her feel he's posting them, he's making her feel like the greatest person on earth. And then he kicks her down from that pedestal. That hurts. And what it does is to keep that person, the other person who got kicked from the pedestal, in a state of confusion. Now your mind is discombobulated. You don't know what went wrong. All you want is that dopamine that you got from the love bombing to come back. So you do anything you can for you to get that high again from that love bomb.
It's
Like
a setup,
anything
bro.
you can.
It's a setup. That's how they set you up, bro. They like what she said. It's a setup because all of that love, and you might be the type of person like, oh, this the one, like this it, and then they smack you in the back of your head with this crazy stuff, and you like, what? But
what happened?
But it happened. But see, people, you ain't gonna understand it in a moment, and you ain't probably never gonna get it until you come out of the situation. But at that time, like she said.
And that's what I was just gonna ask.
You chasing that high like a crackhead, right?
Yes, like a junkie.
Chasing that high.
Yeah,
So
it
when
is.
you chasing that high, you gonna do whatever. Now they got you in their web because now you gonna do whatever to try to please them, for them to give you that love that they was giving you in the beginning.
Right.
Again,
You see what I'm saying? So they set you up and they keep you in this cycle, and you like a gerbil in one of them wheels.
That's what I was gonna ask Drewski. How would, like, and I guess what you said, you can only tell past tense, but how when a person is experiencing it, how do they know they're being love bombed versus someone who just likes them?
I'm going to tell you. And there is a way to know. When it's real, it doesn't have to come on so strong. When this person makes you feel like, oh my God, this is my soulmate. The second week you're of meeting them, it might be a red flag. Some of the things that we think are so great and so grand about people, these are actually red flags. But we process it as this is a good situation. Real love is patient. Because go ahead.
I just want to add. I want to ask you this, right? Since I understand people, using discernment and you will not know whatever. But it would seem like to me that if a narcissist, say, was in their mid-30s, or say even their 40s, right,
Mm-hmm.
they would have a lot of debris in their past that would give you an indication that they're dysfunctional or toxic in some way,
Uh-huh.
meaning they have a splintered relationship with their children,
Mm-hmm.
they can't get along with their mother, there are
Mm-hmm.
other ex-wives and exes that are, that they've had very harmful and toxic relationships with.
All of
Like
that.
can you use that as a barometer as to whether this person is a viable mate or not, and not just if a person is overdoing it? You know what I mean?
So
Because
those things.
here's my
Go ahead. Go ahead.
here's my point is that I know that in relationships we all are different, and someone could be very genuine in their approach to loving you or present to you, and it's just something you're not used to. They're very sincere in their approach. You're just not used to it because you hadn't experienced it before. And I would hate for people to get skeptical of a person being a potential love bomber when they're actually being genuine, just because you're experiencing the level of care and concern that you've never experienced before. And so that's what I wanted to kind of bring out is that the person's past being a true indication of, could that be a true indication of whether or not a person is a love bomber or a narcissist?
Be very skeptical. Be very skeptical. Because let me tell you something, when it's real, you don't have to rush it. You don't have to hurry up and do anything. You can take your time. And does their past determine whether or not they have narcissism? Absolutely, because how we do anything is usually how we do everything. Okay. So, but a lot of times we're so blinded by the love bomb. That's the purpose of the love bomb. The love bomb is to put you into it's almost like getting injected with heroin. This is how powerful a love bomb is. Like, I know you might think it's just a clubhouse term, but it's like a literal drug that these people inject into you. And they have you in a state of confusion, like you don't know if you're coming or going. So, of course, you're not caring about the relationship they have with their baby mama. She's just a hater to you. She's just in the way. You're making up all type of excuses as to why they don't get along with their mom. You're making up all type of excuses as to why, why they have hurt every single person from their past, because you're high. You're high. You know what I'm saying? And until you come down off of that high, you won't even recognize who you're even dealing with, because the love bomb is so powerful. It's like a drug. So that's why I say beware of that injection, because narcissistic people, they know how to go to you and they find everything that you're lacking. They come up with a cocktail based on what you're lacking, and they inject this cocktail into you. And now you're dependent on them. Like, I need you to survive. This is deep. It's deep.
And then I want to we got a lot of good ass questions going on in the chat. But I want to put in there, piss a narcissist off, bro. Piss a narcissist off, and you'll see what happens.
That's when they start to devalue you. And a lot of times it starts off with the love bombing, right? And a narcissist, what they'll do is they will create this image of you, this false image of you in their mind, right? And then as time go on, they realize you're not the false image that they put in their mind about you. So now they hate you, because you're not who they tricked themselves into thinking you were, right?
Yep. Yep.
So now they hate you. Now they're going to devalue you. This is after the love bombing stage. This is when they start to point out how you're not so great. This is when they start to hurt your feelings. This is when they start to tell you things, and then they even add a little triangulation into the process during the devaluing stage. This is when other people, because a narcissist is never exclusively with you. They always have supply. They always have, because they need constant validation. your validation starts to get boring to them. So they need to have somebody else in the lineup to validate them.
Hold on, Shauna, hold on, because you throwing way too much. So slow down, Shauna, slow down.
Okay.
You throwing way too much out there. I told you about throwing all this information out there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right. So supply. That supply is serious. If a person has to hear how great they are
constantly,
that y'all don't see a problem in that?
Yeah.
Rocky,
it's a big problem. Like,
hey man, I again, as you unpack this, right? There are lots of nuggets and tidbits that of people who I've dealt with in my lifetime over the years, right? And I'm talking coworkers, friends,
employers,
employers, people I work with and work for, and so again, as you unpack these are things that I've always observed about people, but I never really put them under one umbrella. You understand what I'm saying? Like for instance, there are people who need to be validated over and over again, and they seek that validation in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? And but the one thing that can be kind of, what's always kind of, got on my nerves is that if you didn't validate them in some kind of way, they felt like you were doing something wrong. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Whether it's disagreeing with their idea or suggesting that there's a better way to do something, you know what I mean? They took that as an offense or an affront to, or even question your loyalty in the moment as to, whether or not, you're on their side or whatever. And so again, when you start pulling these things out, I'm not saying these people are narcissists. Don't get me wrong, because I don't know, but you're unpacking, you've pulled out a lot of things that I've experienced over my lifetime and even perpetuated in some cases. Because I'll be perfectly honest with you, some of the things that you have mentioned, I may have done at one time or another. So I'm not.
And D-Dub said something similar to that. She asked a real good question earlier. She said, "Do we all have some narcissistic traits?" I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not the right.
Everybody does.
Now let's be clear about one thing. Having high self-esteem is not narcissism. Disagreeing with others is not narcissism. Having a mind of your own is not narcissism. Being a cheater is not narcissism. Taking selfies all the time is not narcissism. Liking attention is not narcissism, right? The narcissism comes in when you lack the empathy, when you don't care about hurting people for no reason.
Empathy, y'all.
Yeah. Gotcha.
All of those other things do not qualify you as being a narcissist. Like, you can have high self-esteem. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, JJ.
Let me just say this right quick. I asked all those questions because I wanted to know. And she said no. So everything that people think is a narcissist because a person is stuck up, because a person is arrogant, because a person that's not narcissism.
No.
That's not narcissism.
So you say the foundation of it is the inability to empathize.
Have you ever seen it?
Let me tell you this. If a person leaves you confused, dazed, and fucking confused, bro, if you do everything right and you're left there confused, standing there alone, confused, and you don't know what the hell happened, and this person has no remorse for that, that's
a form of narcissism.
That's a narcissist, bro.
Have y'all ever watched toddlers? You ever watch babies play with each other?
Mm-hmm. And when they came out,
babies are narcissists. Because if you ever seen babies play with toys? When one of them babies want a toy, what they'll do? and the other kid got a toy. They'll push that little kid out the way and take that toy like it ain't nothing. They won't think twice about it. Like that's so I think we all do have a little bit of it. What it is I think as you get older and your environment or whatever morals and values that are instilled in you, like Shonda was saying earlier, if you're nurtured in the right way, you still won't have that mentality.
If you're nurtured the right way.
But if you go unnurtured, then
and Drew,
like
let me just jump in on that right quick. Drew, you right. You know what I'm saying? My grandson, he's the only child. You know, he wants stuff given to him. You got to jump in there. You got to jump in there and you got to correct that behavior, because if you don't, and you keep feeding a kid, you keep feeding them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This type of situation, they're going to grow up to be that way.
Yep.
That's what Shonda was saying.
It goes unchecked, basically. That's what ends up happening. If you let it go unchecked, you basically got this little monster that grows up and becomes a person. Yeah. So they out here in the world thinking that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I can have whatever I want. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care about your feelings. That's why it's easy for them to love on, like she said.
And see, a normal person, me being a normal person, I will completely end the relationship before I would inflict unnecessary pain on someone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I will completely walk away before I get any type of satisfaction from inflicting pain on you. There's nothing inside of me that will bring me pleasure from hurting anybody.
Yeah. So that's the aspect of it that's completely foreign to me. And that's why, even though I've been self-centered and selfish and dismissive at times, that's the thing that's foreign to me, meaning that, you know, at no point can I harm people
and not
without feeling that pain myself, and to the point to where I want it to go away, you know, if I harm somebody or hurt somebody, or even pain I didn't inflict on people. You know what I mean? I want it to go away. And so sometimes when people are talking about narcissism, right? And you said a few things that, you know, that I've done or that I've been through, but the inability to empathize is so far away from who I am as a person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I love and care and adore people.
A narcissist would never.
Nobody's saying you're a narcissist, Rob.
No. What I'm saying,
he's just an asshole. It's a big difference.
No. What I'm saying,
even being an asshole doesn't mean narcissism, because I can be an asshole too.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's not a narcissist. He's just an asshole.
He's just an asshole.
Right, and that's okay. There's nobody worse than a narcissist. I'm sorry. And the fact that you have the ability to empathize and that you have feelings when you either inflict pain or see someone in pain, that means you're not included in that spectrum at all. You're good. Right. So if anyone calls you that, you know they're just using it and don't really know what they're talking about.
So that's kind of what I end up hearing over and over again is like there's a trait about an individual that they don't like. Like JJ always dressing nice and then putting it on the ground. He can't wear a nice outfit without taking a picture of it, or he can't buy a pair of new shoes without posting on the ground. He can't, if he don't have Beijing in his beard, he don't take no picture. But you know what I mean? And I've often said JJ is probably a narcissist.
Nope. Sorry.
Related to that. But I misdiagnosed JJ in that, and I must apologize, JJ, because I misdiagnosed you.
Go ahead and break it down to them about your friend, Sean.
Huh?
Well, go ahead and break it down to this asshole about your friend. About your friend here.
About you talking about you?
Me. Yeah.
No. I know for a fact that JJ is not a narcissist. He definitely has the ability to have empathy, and he has the ability to love. So that excludes him from narcissists. Having high self-esteem is something that you need to have.
But what about this, Shonda? All those kids in China that are used to make all those shoes that he owns, What do you think he's empathetic toward the child labor that is being perpetuated in China and Indonesia and all those countries
Well,
where those
he would be in a perpetual state of depression if he worried about all of the products that he got and how they were made. I mean, we all would be, because all of the things that we use they come from the abuse of somebody in some kind of way. So that's none of our business. We're talking about the people that you have a direct connection
access to,
with.
huh?
Yeah, so I got a question. You say if someone leaves you in a confused state, you know what I mean, without addressing your needs at the time, you may be dabbing in some narcissistic behavior.
No,
Is it
let me
so?
correct that. That's not always true. It definitely depends on why this person left
And,
you.
and that's what I was gonna get to. So I just didn't want to leave the audience, the viewers, to think that, oh, because me and my partner had a disagreement and maybe I'm giving them some silence treatment, I'm dabbing in, narcissistic behavior. Is that a thing?
Nobody said that.
No. Remember,
Well,
whenever you
I'm saying in the midst of that, you're leaving your partner in a confused state because you just had an
No,
argument.
that's
Okay,
different.
the
all right.
bottom line is, do you lack empathy and love? You know what I'm saying? I don't care what else you do. That may be something else that may be some other disorder. But when you lack the empathy and the love, that's what puts you in the narcissism traits.
So
But
so let me ask.
okay. I was
Well, let me ask you this. Like, this is the thing that's confusing me about this. It seemed like I would be able, like, with that situation, like a person like me, right, who thrives off love and connection and and when I deal with people,
And
right?
talk a lot.
How could you even get to the point of loving a narcissist if you never get that care and concern back? Like, how could you fall for them?
Because what happens is we don't really actually love them. We end up trauma bonded to them. Are you familiar with the trauma bond?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say where I got that
It
word,
don't matter,
but
Rock.
yes.
Go ahead and break it down,
You know
Sean.
what trauma bond
Yes, I
is.
have heard.
Okay. A trauma bond is okay. So now we're in the devaluing stage. This is when that person inflict pain on you so deep that you think that this is the only person that can heal that pain for you.
Ooh.
So it's almost like Stockholm syndrome when a girl is being R-worded by somebody and she falls in love with the person who is R-wording her, right? Um, it's very strange.
What's the
No,
R
no, no,
word?
no,
Come
no,
on,
no,
Rock.
no.
Come
No,
on,
come
Rock.
on, Rock, bro.
hey, Shonda.
Can you put it in the chat? Because I don't know what the R word is.
Shonda.
I'll
I'm
put it in
serious.
the chat.
Hey,
Okay.
Shonda. D-Dub asked another great question a
Hold
lot
on,
earlier.
hold on,
Larry,
Brent.
I was
Oh,
about to say Larry.
okay.
Hold on one
Okay.
second, John. Go ahead and get finished, John.
Okay, so when it's a trauma bond and you're thinking that you are crazy about this person, that you are in love with this person, but really you're bonded by the trauma that they inflicted on you. Because a lot of times this trauma is so deep, it's something that it's a pain that you have never experienced from anybody ever in your life. So it's like it's mind blowing. It's a mind blowing thing that they do to you, and it leaves you feeling like you're in your mind, you're processing it as, I love this person so much, but really you're bonded to them by trauma. So you ask, how do you get to the point where you love somebody like that? A lot of times it's not love, a lot of times it's trauma bond, and a lot of us have we really confuse love with trauma bond, and it's so common. A lot of relationships that you see are still connected by a trauma bond and not love.
Mm,
Yep, that's a fact.
mm.
It go both ways too.
What you about to say, Brent? I'm sorry.
Now, D-Dub had asked a question, and now the chat's done moved, so I try to paraphrase it as good as I can. She asked, "Is narcissism once someone has came into awareness that they're a narcissist, is it curable? Like, can they recover from it? Can they can they ever reach a point of a healthy relationship once they have been assigned that title as being a narcissist?"
The only way a true narcissist can really recover or get better is intense therapy for the rest of their lives. If they're willing to do that, then yes, they can carry on and have normal relationships and all that, but they need very intense therapy, and they need a therapy that a lot of people just aren't willing to get. They're not willing to do, because one major thing about narcissism is a lack of accountability. It's hard to even get these
Whoa,
people to realize that they have a problem.
man.
So that's why it's hard for them to get help, because they lack accountability.
What? Hello.
That's not a clubhouse word.
Hello. That's a clubhouse word, Rock. Accountability.
No. Accountability is a aspect of every part of anything that's successful. Like, you have to have accountability. You know, the first time I ever heard that word, I was at become a member of a football team.
It's still a clubhouse
You know
word,
what I
though.
mean? But I mean, accountability is something I've always grew up with. I know, you have.
Basically, what I'm saying, bro, is what she's saying is, if a person doesn't acknowledge how they are and who they are, you'll never get
Get
along.
help.
You will never get along with that person. If a person never acknowledges their faults, their issues, you will never ever get along with that person. You know why? Because now you're gonna be getting hurt trying to explain to them how they are. It just becomes a back and forth
That's
thing.
when they gaslight you.
Yeah, okay.
That's a clubhouse word too, isn't it,
And
Ron?
here we go. And here we go with the word gaslight. All right, now explain what gaslight is, Sean.
So gaslighting, just like you were saying, when you try to explain to the person with the narcissistic behavior, when you try to explain to them what they're doing or their behavior, they will turn it on you. They will make it seem like it's you. You're the one who's doing exactly what they're doing. Like, they will be an example. They'll be having a conversation with you, and they'll raise their. That's why you have to even record these people. A lot of times they'll start yelling at you, and you're like, well, calm down. And they're like, well, you got loud with me first, and I'm just yelling at you because you yelled at me. Or even they'll cheat on you, and they'll accuse you of cheating knowing you didn't. So it's really a mind game. So you're going back and forth, arguing, trying to defend yourself, and we all know it's hard to explain something you know you didn't do. You know what I'm saying? So you're going back and forth trying to defend yourself, and really it's like a hamster on a hamster wheel. It'll never make sense, and they know that you're just going in circles. So that's what gaslighting is, when they project their whatever they're doing and turn it around on you and make it seem like it's something that you're doing.
And I don't even think people. The crazy part is, like you said, you trying to defend yourself. I don't think people even realize it. In a moment, it's like, bro, I know I ain't cheating, but they're gonna be like, nah, you cheating. I know you cheating.
Imagine arguing for hours about something you know you didn't do because they're accusing you of this, and now you're totally exhausted, and you don't realize how foolish it is until you're out of the relationship. Right. Once you're out of the relationship and you know it wasn't even worth even having this conversation, then you know that's when you know what's going on. But until then, you're just in a brain fog, and you're just trying, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to defend yourself because you don't want them to inflict whatever said punishment on you that you know they'll inflict on you. Like, you're just trying to keep it together because you know that trauma, that whooping that they'll give you, and you don't want it. So it's like you'll do anything you can just to make this person happy. And happiness is not possible with them.
Hey, Shonda, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you see the Netflix special Dirty John? Anybody seen that?
No, I'm writing this down. I never saw that.
Well, if you, what I would, I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but if you could find a podcast on Dirty John, listen to the podcast. I don't know how many. I think it's like 6 or 7 episodes or whatever. But anyway,
Okay.
long story short, Dirty John was this dude. What he would do is he would find these older women that had money, and he
Mm-hmm.
would act like this one particular lady he was dealing with. He act like he was a neurosurgeon, right? And he was so charming and everything. And she owned her own business where she would go in and to these $1 million homes and basically furnish them and everything like that. So she had a lot of money, lived in
Mm-hmm.
California. So John came in, he love bombed her, he did all of this stuff, and she fell in love with him. And even the lady daughters was like, well, we don't really like him because it's something off about this dude. Like,
Something about him.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they like, if he a neurosurgeon, why he always at the house? Like, why this dude never really at work? Why he always got on scrubs? Like, he don't never wear no shirt and tie. And like it was just weird stuff that he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He was living off this lady, spending her money, all types of stuff. He did this for a while, and then it was like when she kind of started figuring it out and she started trying to take herself away from him, he started degrading her and everything. And then he basically it almost got like physical a little bit, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Mm-hmm.
with and when you get to like towards the end of the story, he tried to kill the daughter. He tried to kill her daughter. Like, that's how, like, because they broke up, got back together, right? They supposed to get married and all this stuff. And then when she finally was like done with him, that's when he tried to kill the daughter. Um, and then the other thing was, if you go in his background, he was married. The dude was from Cleveland, Ohio. He basically did the same thing to his ex-wife. They found that out later because a cop in Cleveland was looking for him. So it's an interesting story, but the dude John definitely was a narcissist. Like, I anybody that's watching the show, I implore you to go check out
Any
the podcast.
anybody who lacks empathy is a dangerous person.
Yeah,
That's why you have to
Absolutely.
protect yourself from anybody who lacks empathy, because they will kill you. They will. They will. They will take your life. And a lot of times, we see women or men, but vice versa. It could be either or. But me as a woman, I'm speaking from a woman's point of view. You'll see a woman with a guy, and then when she wants to end the relationship, he'll take her life a lot of times. And a lot of times that's because he had nothing going on for himself. He had nothing, no empathy, no real love for her. And so it's like, if you try to leave me, you're taking my lifeline away, and I'm going to take you out. So you have to really be careful when you're dealing with these type of people, because when you're dealing with people who lack empathy, that's always a dangerous situation.
yep,
These type of people, to me, not only in a romantic relationship, these people don't love their children. They
mm-hmm.
don't love their parents. They don't love
Mm.
anybody. They never really processed or learned how to love themselves. So they will never be able to receive love from you because they don't even know how to love themselves. They think something is wrong with you for even loving them.
or loving your
Uh,
family.
shout out,
They're very jealous
shout
of
out
that.
to
They'll try to take you away. They'll try to get you away. They'll try to ruin your relationships. And
Yep,
and and, and since they feel like, in their mind, they feel like they can do things that you can't do. Like, they can carry on relationships with their exes, but they don't want you to carry on relationship with your ex.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So they'll try to rob you and take
who?
you away from
Wait,
everybody who you really love, because they don't need nobody to get in their ear and tell them, I mean, to tell you who you're dealing with, because people who don't love them can see through them.
Right.
You just can't see it.
And
So a
Shonda, that's why I
narcissist
don't.
try to
mm,
isolate you from
Yeah,
your
that's
loved
why I
ones.
don't deal with women that don't have good girlfriends. Don't have a couple girlfriends. I don't deal with women like that because a lot of them, that's what they do. They don't got no friends. So what they'll
Hmm.
try to do is isolate you from your homies and your loved ones, so they can
Right.
get all the attention and all the love from you. I don't
And
deal
see,
with women like that.
the thing about it is, everything needs a balance. Everything needs a balance. Like, um, you have your friends, she has her friends. In a healthy situation, there will be a balance. When it's a narcissistic type situation, it's not a balance. Nothing is fair with them. Nothing is even. They feel like they're better than you. They feel like they can do things that you can't do. It's just an
mm.
unfair type situation. Like, you'll never get anything fair from these people. You'll never have peace with them. You'll never have happiness with them.
Yep.
Hey, shout out to Mika Robinson. She stated, "I married one who was abusive in every way, and thank God every day for sparing my life." Hey, shout out to you,
That's a
Mika
huge
Robinson.
accomplishment. That's a huge accomplishment because there's people who are stuck with narcissists for decades that can't find the strength to leave. And they are clueless as to what they're going through. They just think that their mate is just a difficult mate. But
Mm-hmm.
they don't realize the stage that the cycle that they're continuously going through. It's the love bomb, it's the devaluing, it's the discard, and it's a cycle that keeps on repeating itself with different people. With different people added to the equation. This is when I was talking about the triangulation. They'll add,
Mm.
huh?
No, 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 no. I'm giving my ad libs. I'm listening.
They'll add people into the relationship, and so what that does is the person who's the victim of the narcissism, that'll make them feel like they have to do anything they can to outdo the other person. So they're going out their way to outdo the other person. Like, I'm going to do anything you want me to do, whatever you ask me to do, I'm going to do it better than this person. That's another form of manipulation, and it's something that they use to their advantage.
Rock had asked
Mm.
something in the chat. He said, are they born or are they, do they just pick up these behaviors? I think you said earlier, it's like they socialize in that way. I guess my question is, if
It's
this is
not
a,
a it's not a genetic thing. It's not
yeah, yeah,
something
it's
that
the
you're
way they're
genetically defined.
socialized. Yeah,
It's nature versus nurture. It's how they were nurtured. Like, I
yeah.
know someone who mother couldn't really be there for them because they had a handicapped sibling that was younger than them, and they had to give all the attention to the handicapped sibling, and the mother kind of put that child on the back burner, and that child does not have empathy, lacks love, and it usually starts as a child.
You, you,
It
you were
starts in
talking
that.
you were talking about the victims of narcissism and how difficult it is for them in those relationships. Once they get out of that relationship, I'm pretty sure that they have to receive treatment now. And it can't a narcissist person turn someone else into a narcissist. Can that person pick up them behavior traits and take them into their next relationship?
And I'm going to answer that by saying this. You can pick up some of their characteristics, but I
Got
don't
my
believe that you just full blown out just start lacking empathy for any and everybody.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I
yeah.
say that because
Empathy.
I've dated narcissists and I still have the ability to love and have empathy.
Yeah, empathy is what it is, bro. Like
So
you you can see things a little bit more clearer, but if you got a heart for things, man, and you know what I'm saying, like you one of them type people that ha, has emotion and feeling about certain things, bro. You can't
it,
you know you can't do that.
so let me ask you this, Shonda. You said you dated some narcissist, and I'm assuming that's more than one person. Is there anything that you believe that you did that made you susceptible to, you know, a narcissist, or is there any reason why a narcissist would target you in their endeavor to seek out romance?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Narcissists like good people. We're a good supply. We're the best supply ever for them. People that know how to love and have compassion and have empathy, we're a target for them. So, um, the fact that I do love and I have empathy for people, that made me a target. Now, did I do anything bad? No, I did nothing. I did nothing bad to attract or to be involved with the narcissist. All I did was simply be a person because narcissists don't like other narcissists. They don't want to date another narcissist. That's not a good supply for them.
Right.
That's not what they look for. And what a narcissist does is this is how it confuses you. Because if you're mirroring me and I love who I am as a person, and you're acting as my mirror, I'm falling in love with myself. I'm thinking that I'm
Mm.
loving someone that's just like me, but I'm not knowing that you're only pretending to be me. You're pretending to be like me. So I'm falling in love with who I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm falling in love with a soulmate, a twin flame, however you want to call it. But really, this person has a mirror and they're just mirroring you. They can only keep up that act for so long.
Is it different time frames for different level of narcissist, or is there a 2 month, 3 month, 1 year expiration generally before a narcissist will begin to revert back to what they know?
Okay, you have 6 to 12 weeks in a love bombing stage. They're gonna love bomb you for
Mm.
about 6 to 12 weeks, right? And then after that stage, after they love bomb you for that period of time, then we start to devalue you. And as far as the amount of time that this can go on, as long as the victim is willing to stay, they are willing to abuse. They will keep you
So
in a cycle of supply. Go ahead.
I'm gonna use a different term because I'm an older guy and we didn't have terms like love bomb and all this. So I'm gonna be and excuse my crass nature. But I've known circumstances where guys were what you explain as love bombing, we used to call pussy whooped. You know what I mean? And a guy would be so into a woman just a few weeks into their relationship, and then the woman would start to just use that to as leverage to where the guy would be rendered helpless.
Bro,
No, a
No,
lack
bro,
of empathy. We still go back.
what are you talking
We
No,
about,
still
no,
go
no.
Rock?
no,
back.
man.
I'm
We
telling you.
still
I'm telling you.
we still listen, we still go back to a lack of empathy. If that man is showing you love in the beginning and the love is strong, if he has empathy and he truly has the ability to love, that's not
No, no. I'm talking
considered
about the woman
narcissism.
doing it to a man.
I don't think so.
Anybody can be a narcissist though. If anybody who lacks empathy and don't mind inflicting pain on somebody is they have narcissism.
Hold on. This man talking
That's
about
that's
pussy
No,
to,
whoop.
that's
no,
That
no,
ain't
totally
got
no,
different,
nothing to
bro.
do
no.
with
This
That's
is what
nothing.
totally
I'm
different.
saying. I need y'all to realize what I'm saying because this is something like I've had friends that have been in relationships in that 6 to 12 weeks, and it's so intense and it's so gravitating that after that 6 to 8 weeks, they don't even realize when the woman is abusing and using and manipulating it, right? And that's what we
Mm-hmm.
used to call it back in the day. I'm not saying that what I'm saying, but that's what we used to call it back in the day. A man was whooped up. And
You, you know what I
what?
call him, Rock?
That's
Tinder
what I was
ass
about
nigga.
to
But he
say.
was the victim of he could have been the victim of a narcissist, is what I'm
Very
saying.
well. Absolutely. He could have. Now, the only way he would be a victim of a narcissist is if that woman was not capable of loving him and having empathy towards him.
She was
If
using him
that
like a
woman,
cash register.
maybe he wanted her to use him. If she loved him and cared about him, that's not narcissism.
Right.
That's not the same. It's when you don't love that
It
person
ain't the same,
and you
bro.
don't have empathy. That's narcissism.
Oh, okay. I'm
Bro,
just
no matter how you try to flip it, bro. If there's no empathy,
Rock, you
yeah.
can't flip. Bro, you try to find you try to find every loophole.
no,
Is
no, no, no.
man,
What
she
I'm
is
saying,
giving
what
you
I'm
straight
saying is that
information.
I've seen women completely devastate men, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've called it PW my entire life. Like they devastated them, right? They came into
Mm-hmm.
their lives like a tornado, like the Tasmanian devil, gave them a some light and love like they had never experienced before, to only tear that man down and for him to become a shell of himself. And
But
again,
did she actually have love and empathy for him?
I don't think so.
Right.
But
If
I
she did
mean,
not,
Right. So
if she didn't, and if she pretended to be in a relationship with him, And for the most part, narcissists don't leave anybody. They never leave. They keep you in a cycle. It may be a year that they stop speaking to you, it might be 2 years they stop speaking, but they never really leave anybody. It takes a real person to leave. So that's that.
And then Rock, if he fell in love with just sex,
No,
then
I'm not.
that
No,
wasn't
I'm just using it
that wasn't
as
a
a term, but that's what we used to call it. I'm not saying that was the only thing that affected the man, but that was.
But that's what you just
usually when
talked
you
about.
say somebody pussy whip, they fell in love with the sex. They ain't got
What?
nothing to do with the person.
Yeah,
I mean that's the
about
only
sex,
thing
you
it
about
could be in
physical
about
stuff.
6 weeks, right?
I mean, it depends on the people. Some people could
Oh,
fall
okay.
in love in
All
2
right.
weeks.
And the main thing is
My mom and dad met the first day, and they've been married for
Yeah,
49
I think it depends on the
the
people.
bottom line is a lack of empathy. That's the
Right.
bottom line. Like if you have empathy, I don't care if you fall in love in 24 hours, but be cautious though. You don't want to fall in love that fast because you want to get a chance to know a person. You want to get a chance to actually really know who you're claiming to love.
Hey, Shonda,
A lot of times a narcissist will try to take you really, really fast because they know that they can only keep that mask on for so long. So they got to get you hooked into their trap really fast.
hey,
They got to get you hooked. Go ahead.
Hey, Shonda, do you feel like social media is now socializing some people to display narcissistic behavior, potentially even becoming narcissists from the behavior that they show online? Because when we talk about empathy, you know, what I mean, I've seen some pretty nasty, mean stuff said online on all type of apps. On no platform is innocent of that one. So and these people they don't lack empathy, and what I'm saying, this could be amongst people they're establishing relationships with. You know, a lot of
Mhm.
relationships are created online. You know, I think it's real easy for someone to say something online to someone without any sense of empathy. Do you think social media like? Do you think that the love the is there? You feel like there's any increase in narcissist behavior out there due to social media?
I I can't really say now. Social media is a tool that is used by narcissists, but I can't really say that social media is the cause of it because, like I said, when it boils down to it, it's not a person who posts a lot of pictures or have high self esteem or anything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Social media can't make and we have to really understand when we say lack empathy because if you look at some of my social media posts, one may assume that I lack empathy on some issues as well, right? However, I just feel as if I'm more logical than emotional. So I approach most situations with a more logical point of view versus emotional. So I don't always have empathy towards any and everything. It has to make total sense to me. However, anytime I profess to have love for something or somebody, there's never a time where I will intentionally inflict pain on that person.
You said a quote earlier, and I snatched that one because I believe it all the way. You said how you do anything is how you do everything, and
Right.
I'm a steal that one from you because I like it. But
Mm-hmm.
if that's indeed true, and all I'm saying is like Mike Tyson said it. He said stuff done change where people will say things online that they wouldn't say in your face, you
But
know, because they'll get punched in the mouth. And all
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, just because of that's how social media is governed, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
How we're doing social media, can it not trickle down into our relationships and how we deal with our partners? You get what I'm saying? Like if I'm showing this lack of empathy, you know, on social media, telling people F you, screw you, you dumb B, you stupid, you know what I mean? If that's how I'm portraying myself on social media, wouldn't that at some point start to twinkle down into my personality? And
but
that's how I would deal with the people around me?
Hey,
I
It.
think. Oh
Go ahead. Go ahead, Drew.
no, I was just gonna say. I think people are already have narcissistic characteristics or they are narcissists, all social media does is magnify the behavior, right? In my opinion. Like people can not say something to you in real life because they don't want that smoke. But they can get online because think you behind the keyboard or you behind a phone. I can say whatever the hell I want. I can say how I truly feel. Like if you ever been on Twitter probably the worst. Twitter is probably a breeding ground for narcissists to be on there and just say whatever they want to say, right? They on there, they can say whatever they say. They don't even got to put their picture up. Most people that are like that, they probably don't even got their real picture up. They probably got a cartoon picture up, or they don't got no picture, whatever the case may be, right? They probably don't even use their real name. But even on Instagram, like when people say like F you and all that stuff on the comment, bro, they like, man, this person don't know me. I'll never meet him before. I can say whatever the hell I want. And ain't nothing you gonna do about it. So it's easier that way on social media for them to really say how they truly feel. That's why when people be saying stuff on social media and they be like, well, social media not a real place, and I was just joking, I don't believe none of that shit. I believe that's how you really feel deep down inside.
And that's a good question that you asked.
That's all I was saying, Drew. That I feel exactly like what you just said. But how they're portraying online is the real them. You know.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know about you, right? And that is a true statement. How you do anything is how you do everything. But when it comes to the people that I actually love, they're not the same people to me as those people on social media, because sometimes those people on social media, I have to return the same energy that I'm giving. Now, I'm doing that in all situations, no matter what. I'll always return the same energy that you give to me, even when it comes to the people that I love. But the people that I love just know how to deal with me and how to handle me, right? But when it comes to people on social media, some people on social media can be pretty brutal and they can cause you to say some things to them. So, and I mean, and even when it comes to the people that I love, if I'm in a romantic relationship with somebody and they're trying to handle me, then probably quite naturally I might handle them back.
But Shonda, I often find this, right? This is just one of the things, maybe because it just pisses me off a lot of times, right? That I find people, mask or disguise keeping it real, and they're actually being narcissists because they're saying mean things or whatever, but they disguise it as keeping it real or being straight up or not pulling any punches or whatever. And I often find that people who are rude, obnoxious, and insensitive, they often say, I'm just keeping it straight up. I'm just keeping it a bean, or I'm keeping it 100, when in all actuality, they're trying to be harmful and insidious.
If their motive is to be harmful and to inflict pain, then that could be a form of narcissism. It could be. It very well could be. If you know that this is going to inflict pain, because narcissists are notorious for that. Like if they know that they're going to inflict pain on people, they're wicked. They're down for it. So yeah.
Now, and this is my last question. Are trolls on social media behaving as narcissists?
No.
And it depends. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're not. Well, but that doesn't.
But I was just gonna say this right quick. Bro, if you don't know who you're talking to, bro, you could be talking to a 12-year-old, bro. you could be dealing with a 12-year-old child, bro, that just got the time on their hands. Go.
Yeah.
That was my grandson, y'all. If these people have the time on their hand, bro, then they are trolls, bro. But you know what I'm saying? When you dealing with people, like, bro, if we dealing with people in real life, bro, and these people are just downright just, especially whenever you deal with somebody and they leave you, and when you say something remotely wrong to them and they want to, keep breaking up with you. What about this, Sean?
So that's one of the tactics that they use to manipulate and control you. That's to keep you in line. They know that you would do anything to keep them from leaving you. So they always use that threat. They always say, when let's say you're trying to express to them how you feel, a regular normal conversation where a regular person will be able to receive what you're saying to them. A narcissistic person, they will say things like, see, that's why I need to just go on about my business. I need to just find me somebody else. When you're simply trying to explain to them how you feel about, something that they may have done, they may have inflicted pain on you in some kind of way, and you're trying to explain to them, they'll tell you things like, see, that's why I need to just go. That's why I need to be with somebody else. I need to be with somebody that appreciates me. So what that does is the next time you decide to go and tell them how you feel, you'll know just to shut up, because they're going to tell you how they want to leave you, and you don't want them to leave you because this is your drug.
Yeah. And
Your
but
drug.
I think in today's world, it's so easy to fall into narcissistic behavior for the simple fact that I think that a lot of people are acting as if they're bulletproof in their relationships. You know what I mean? So you
Mm-hmm.
can't hurt me, I can't hurt you, and we're just hurting each other in the process. I think that I definitely get the term, and I understand how it could be one sided in a relationship. But I think that we find a lot of relationship nowadays in which both people are demonstrating it because no one wants to say that they're hurt. No one wants to say that what you said made me feel bad. People try to live bulletproof in their relationships, and I think it causes for exchange sometimes. I don't know if it's narcissistic behavior, but it's I can see why that's so relevant in today's conversation versus 50 years ago.
What you see now is a lot of
Yeah.
mixed match relationships. People are not compatible. They're settling with people that they have no business being with. You have to be compatible mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and physically. People are settling for physically or just financially and forgetting all the other aspects. So you have people who are essentially together that don't even like each other. They have no business together.
Mm.
They have no business together, and so they don't like each other. So when you see a healthy relationship looks like somebody I can go to and I can feel comfortable telling you about something that you may have done that I didn't like. And you're not
Hold
going to blow up on me. You're not going to blow up. We're going to be able to talk about it. We're going to be able to work it out. Uh,
Let's break that down right there,
okay.
Sean. Uh, let's break that aspect of this conversation down because we haven't tapped into that. So, if somebody, if you can't talk to a person without feeling like there's going to be some repercussion behind it, then that's not that's not
At
healthy.
all. At all. And that's not how a
You know,
relationship should go. A healthy relationship does not go like that. But we're so used to unhealthy relationships, we think that that's normal. That's not normal. It's not normal. And it's not normal to not be able to accept criticism or feedback from your mate without blowing up. A narcissist use that as a manipulation tactic. They'll blow up on you to keep you from telling them what they need to do differently in the situation. But healthy, a lot of
mm,
us are in, not me, but a lot of us are in relationships that we have no business being in. A lot of times we even know we have no business with these people, and we try to make it work anyway. We have to stop doing that. We really have to stop doing that, because what it's doing is causing trauma, and people are bleeding on people that didn't hurt them. So we have to really stop being with people that we know we're not supposed to be with.
That's why you gotta get to know yourself,
right.
man. You really gotta get to know yourself.
And, and Drew, that's the thing. As we about to end this show, but that's the thing that I wanted people to tap into. Lately, lately I've been doing therapy a lot lately. It's expensive as hell, but I've been doing it, and I've been, you know what I'm saying, tapping into getting to know myself
Yep.
again. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And Shonda knows I talk to her about a lot of stuff. Uh, and sometimes, man, you just got to be by yourself and start getting to know yourself again mentally.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It ain't nothing wrong with that. And if people love you and they understand what you're going through, they will understand. You know what I'm saying? What you're going through, because, bro, the brain can only hold so much. You know what I'm saying? Before you just go
And,
crazy.
and
You
and
know.
we actually meet these we
Go ahead.
actually meet these bad people. I'm going to say bad people because they are monsters. We meet these people for us to be able to find ourselves sometimes. You grow when if you do it the right way, and you do the work that needs to be done, and you do the research, and you get the therapy that you need. You can actually grow into a better person after these situations, because you get a chance to learn and get in tune with things about yourself that you would have never ever really recognized if it weren't for this particular situation. So sometimes things happen for us and not necessarily to us. It just depends on how you actually handle that whole situation. I think that anybody that goes through that, they need to do intense therapy and do a lot of research, and that helps a lot.
And then people need to find people that they could talk to without,
Being judged.
like just, yeah, Chrissy just stated, a person that always feel attacked when somebody criticizes them or be truthful to them, they lack, you know, those type of, what I'm saying, empathy, accountability
Mm-hmm.
situations. Um, I come to find out that I can only be real with people. And some people just don't understand that part. You know what I'm saying? But like when I call Shonda and talk to her about certain stuff, she listens and she tells me the honest to God truth. You know what I'm saying? And that that's that's the type of information that I get from a therapist too. And I'm not going to a therapist because I think I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to therapy because I'm trying to figure out why I hold so much information inside of my brain and don't understand how to get rid of this stuff in my
Mm-hmm.
mind. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Which probably causes me to be depressed. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying?
And I think that
And
everybody over
go ahead.
25 probably need a little therapy. If we're being totally
Yeah, it is.
honest, everybody needs therapy because we all have traumas. We all have traumas. We also so you getting therapy is commendable because so many people are afraid to even go get therapy because they associate it with being crazy. And it's not a matter of being crazy. Sometimes our experiences warrant us to need therapy.
And the fact that you ain't never, I think about it like this: if you ever been through some things in your life and you ain't never questioned like, why did I react that way, or why do I like think about things the way that I think about them? Like, what is that rooted from? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
when I started going to therapy, it wasn't because I was trying. I mean, I was trying to better myself, but I was trying to understand some things. It's like, why do I feel the way I feel? Why do I love so hard? Like, why do I? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Why when
right,
I know I should let something go, I don't want to let it go. Like the
Mhm.
past, like I'm
bro.
I'm guilty of that. I can be transparent right now, right? I'm guilty of
Mhm.
holding on
And that's me
to the
too.
past, bro. Like
That's me, Drew.
I live in the past some days. Like if I would have did this,
That's me, Drew.
I would be here right now and stuff like that. So that's why I started going to therapy. I need to go back because and I stopped going honestly because my mom passed away and the therapist wanted to talk about that. I wasn't ready for that. So that's why I just was
Mhm.
like, let me get to a place where I can fully talk about that situation without breaking down and then I can move forward. But yeah, I mean, I think we all should at least try it. I don't think you should just rule it out just because. And Shauna, right? Like a lot of people think Or if I go to therapy, that means I'm crazy. Nah, man, you should want to know why you tick the way you tick. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. I mean, man, shout out to DW. She said social
It's
media
not at
is a
all.
therapy. That's facts.
No.
I mean, man, I and you know, man, we so used to being, you know what I'm saying, told that if you go talk to somebody about something and you crazy, man. But that ain't, bro. I don't get none of that feeling when I go to talk to my therapist about how I feel, the type of progressions that I make. And some people just, man, I'm telling you, if people not, you know what I'm saying, calling around you and making sure that that are they supporting that right now, then man, you need to get them people out of your life
Mm-hmm.
because it is very important that people work on themselves
Mm-hmm.
mentally. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, if you find yourself just like the reason why I started doing it is the same way Drew's saying. I'm trying to figure out why I can't let certain stuff go in my head, and I'm constantly thinking about it. Sometimes I lose a bunch of sleep, and me and Shauna started talking about this years ago about stuff and information and people and how they are, and you know, and you got to look at yourself
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can't put it all on everybody. You got to look at yourself and say, all right, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? To make yourself more uh you know the best person you could be for other people.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And
That's
therapy
the
will
thing.
prepare you for your true mate, who you're truly supposed to be with. Like having going through therapy will keep you from falling back into the same cycles that you were used to falling into to attract those same people. You'll attract people on a higher vibrational level now because you're vibrating higher. You have a better understanding of self. And once you know self, that helps tremendously.
Exactly.
I had started. Oh,
Man.
you had something to say?
No. Go ahead, my brother.
No, I had started. I had went to therapy for years, and not only therapy, but extensive outpatient treatment. For alcohol and some other stuff. But one thing I realized through all the therapy I went to, what I was really needing someone to do is listen to me and acknowledge what I had was a problem. You know what I mean? I needed someone to kind of like allow me to put whatever's bothering me in front and I stop avoiding it. And I think that's what we're missing. Look, I ain't gonna say everyone can afford therapy. I don't know what all resources are available to people, but if you have friends and you have family, listen without giving people advice. You know what I mean? I think that's a thing that we tend to do all the time. We hear someone problem and we already have a solution before they finish speaking. You know what I mean? I think, do more listening, listen to people.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Brent.
listen to people, what their problem is. Let them know that you're listening to them. And I think that, I ain't saying it's a treatment for, I ain't saying it's a treatment or, this should be your baseline treatment. I'm just saying it helps people a whole lot just to have people around them that listen to them when they got a problem without the advice, you know.
Right.
Hey man, that's facts, man. Shout out to Jeanette. Hey Jeanette. Hey
Hey,
Jeanette.
mom.
That's Shonda's mom, by the way. Shout out to her. Man, before we wrap this up, man, I just wanted to get everybody's um last little inputs and outputs and we can roll up out of here. What you guys say,
No, I
Rock?
just want to say I've definitely learned a lot today, man. I want to thank Shauna for coming on and talking and sharing her knowledge with us about narcissism and things like that. I know it's opened my eyes about some things, and you know, I know a lot of other people have heard a lot too. But what I really hope is they don't use this as ammunition to insult or demean people who are not narcissists. You know what I mean? That's what I really hope. I really hope that you have people won't use this to identify people as narcissists and use it and leverage as in a conversation or argument, because this is a very serious matter. This behavior damages and harms people, and it should not be thrown around lightly. That's all I'd like to say.
For sure, man. I'm trying to get Legend together. I'm about to put one of these on his
I
head.
agree with that,
Oh,
Rock. I definitely agree, and I feel like if people didn't get anything else from this conversation today, it's the understanding of what narcissism truly is. So we can stop using that term just because we may disagree with someone. That doesn't warrant them to be a narcissist or anything of that nature. The bottom line is when you can inflict pain on someone and not empathize when you inflict that pain. If a person can empathize with inflicting pain, I just cannot see me considering them as a narcissist. I just can't. Like if you have empathy, if you feel the pain of others or feel the pain that you inflict on others, you may be something else, and it's not narcissist. So that's what I have to say.
for sure. That was your last bit, Rock.
Yeah. I just don't. I just And to Sean, I thank you for echoing what I said, because uh, I'm just tired of it being used as an insult rather than a true diagnosis. So thank you so much. I appreciate you pointing that out and even speaking even more succinctly about what I was trying to say when I was saying it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For sure. Brent, what you got, bro?
Man, I think this is a great conversation. I'm like, Rock, thanks, Shauna, for coming on and educating us and the people on characteristic traits of narcissism. I mean, from what I gathered, the key word today was empathy. Being empathetic towards others, especially your loved ones. So if you feel like someone's short you on that end, of leaving you in ruin, leaving you crying, leaving you in a very distraught, a very depressed state, and they're not checking on you at all. I hope this conversation just educated people on the traits to look for when it come to dealing with someone who is potentially, showing narcissistic behavior. But man, shout out to the Six Cigar Lounge. Shout out to Shauna for coming on. Uh, you know, gang with Rock and Drew. And hey, it's back to you, JJ, man. Great show.
Drew, what you got,
Hey
bro?
man, when you presented the topic, I already knew what time it was. I was like, it's gonna be an amazing episode. So um thank you, Shauna, for coming on here and really breaking this down, so that people can understand. And I hope that everyone watching, or those people that end up watching after the live, later on down the road, that they take in all this information and apply it to their lives, because it is people out there like that. It's unfortunate that it's people out there like that, but I think I got a deeper understanding from this, and it's just like, I know for me with my own kids, I gotta nurture that love, right? You know what I'm saying? That's like what I'm taking away from it, because I would, unfortunately, as a parent, feel some type of way if I didn't, and my child became one of these type of people out here in life, just hurting people just because they never were loved in a correct way, right? So I think as parents, it really, a lot of things start with us. So and I know people have certain circumstances where they're not able to do a lot, but it's like sometimes we just got to figure it out. And I think having these type of discourse, like, that'll help people look at things like this in a different light. So definitely appreciate the conversation, and I definitely appreciate all our viewers. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the bell for the notification for future shows. We come on at least 3 or 4 times a week. Make sure y'all check out Drunk Champs on Friday. That's when we not as serious, and we let our hair down, man, and we have fun on the show. If you're on Clubhouse, man, check out the room, the Sexy Cigar Lounge. Follow us on all social media. platforms at the Sex Cigar Lounge. And back to you, JJ.
Man, last but not least, Shonda, break it down for us.
I just want to say thank you guys. You guys have been wonderful. The dialogue was great. I really enjoyed talking with you guys. The energy was great. I'm glad I was able to shed some light on some situations, even for you, Mr. Rock, who said the clubhouse terms, they abusing this on Clubhouse. Now you got a chance to really see what it really means. And if someone does call you this erroneously, you know that they just don't know what they're talking about. And like you said, Drew, it's very important to make sure that we nurture those kids. A lot of times people are too busy, or for whatever reason they put the kids on the back burner, but they set them out in the world with other people, and they're in the world and they hurt people. So I just want people to just do their research. Just don't take my word for anything. Just research everything so you can have as much information as possible, because you may be able to help someone in the future that may be experiencing this and not know what they're experiencing. So it's very important to know knowledge is power. And I just want to thank you guys for having me on the panel. This has been great.
Hey, man, I'm going to just say this, man. Shonda is one of my good friends. I've been knowing her 15, 16 years. She has brought a lot of value to my life. I just want to give her own flowers right
Thank
now.
you.
I wish y'all could. I wish y'all. I mean, y'all got to follow her, man. She is a super dope woman. You know what I'm saying? Entrepreneur, all that, man. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
And yeah, for
JJ,
sure.
JJ,
I mean,
you let her tell us where we can find her on social media, or and follow her content, or
So
oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm most active on Facebook where the more mature people at. So my name is LaShonda Millich on Facebook. Y'all can follow me. Not follow me, but join me. And I try to give out gems on social media. Like I try
you
to
said
give
LaShonda Millich. How do you spell that last name, ma'am?
it's Mill, E like Edward, D like David, G like George, E like Edward.
I got
Millie.
you. Thank you very
All
much.
right. You're welcome.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. Hey, man. She done talked me off the ledge. You know, I'm not saying I was on the ledge, but she done talked me out of a lot of.
You was on the
She
ledge of
done talked me,
emotion, JJ.
Yeah.
yeah, on the ledge of emotions, and she done told me, you know what I'm saying. She wasn't trying to praise me to make me feel better. She was just telling me the raw truth about things, about life, and sometimes you just need one of those people there that is going to give you the raw truth, and she's one of those women. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a lot of people like that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and this is one of those things where I've been trying to get her, and first time I asked, she was like, "I'll do it." You know what I'm saying, for
For
you.
sure. For
So
sure.
so I just want to tell you, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying, coming on and dropping these gems and jewels. We got the dog Floyd in the building. You know, she know Floyd too. You know what I'm saying. Florida is one of
Good friends.
our
Yeah.
homeboys. Yeah, and and I just wanted to tell you thank you for coming on again, and thank Rock and Brennan, Drew, as usual. You know what I'm saying, for coming on and you know, anchoring the ship with me, and stay tuned for the
Y'all
next show.
invite me back now.
Peace. Hold on, hey, you need to come back and show your
Oh,
face
for
next
sure.
time,
I
like I
will. I
told you.
will. I definitely will. I just wanted to not be so nervous having to talk, and yeah, but I will next time. Y'all make sure y'all invite me back. I know more than narcissism. I know quite a few things. So
Yeah, let's
She
talk
look,
about these
she look,
bipolar
hey,
ass
hey,
women.
let's talk about it
hey,
next time.
hey,
Let's
Shonda,
talk about
hey,
it.
Shonda, hey, hey, Shonda. Actually, I need some more women on the show that could be able to talk from a woman's
Perspective.
perspective. You see what I'm saying? Because I got my guys that They're gonna be here
Yeah,
regardless.
we got a loaded clip
But
of sausage on the show. Yeah.
oh,
Well,
man.
well,
Hey,
well. I'll be glad to join you
I'm just
guys.
messing with
Like,
you.
I found her Facebook, and I'll share it in the chat right quick so
God
that
damn, Rock can't redistribute
cool.
our
I appreciate that, Rock.
yeah. I mean,
Nah,
I'm all about.
Hey, I just want to say this right here, man. Before Shonda, you know what I'm saying, started talking to me about this subject many years ago, she started sending me information, and I promise you, it was like 5 or 6 in the morning that I hit her up. I I, I, I think it was around 5 o'clock in the morning. I hit her up, and she said that she was
hey,
just thinking about
hey,
me.
people who wake up early are cut different. I'm sorry.
I
We just
Shut
cut
up,
different.
Brent.
definitely get up early.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guys, I put it
and
in the private chat. So can one of y'all post it on the, because I can't. So my apologies.
man, and she started just sending me a lot of information. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I just started learning, learning from that. You know what I mean? So I just want to thank her again for just being a great friend, and make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. We got a bunch of new subscribers tonight. I don't know where y'all
Shout
looking
out
at
to
it
my
at,
baby
but
Mari J. She has a whole lot of followers. I see her on here. She's logged in. This is my baby girl. That's my girl. But yeah, so y'all make sure y'all let me come back. And JJ, it has been a pleasure to help you through whatever, because you have always been a great person to me. I've always seen you as a good man. So that's why I don't mind. I never minded helping or being there for you anytime you needed me. And that's just who I am. Like, that's who I am as a friend. So
yes, ma'am. And shout out to Mara J for subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you. Make sure that y'all let y'all friends know and the friends know, because this was one of our deepest
Yeah.
topics right here,
We should go
y'all.
down to all
You
the
know what I'm saying?
personality disorders.
Yeah. So we gonna, hey Brent, that's a good idea. Let's just go down all the, you know what I'm saying, personality
Got
disorders, man. You
schizo,
know what I'm
schizophrenia,
saying?
damn bipolar.
let's do it. Let's do it.
So Shonda, I'll talk with you offline, and we'll try to get you on for the next show. And if you know any other
Uh-huh.
women that want to be a part of this podcast, we are trying to grow it,
Okay.
and without just having a bunch of guys on here, we want women on here to give us a whole nother different
Perspective.
Yeah,
Got
perspective.
you.
we need a
Exactly.
woman so we can lead her into the promised land. You know what I mean? Because all this leadership and no followers,
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
for a futile endeavor.
Well, I'm gonna see if I can gather some women who enjoy talking about a variety of topics that are
Yep. Yep. So I appreciate y'all, man, and peace out.